today we're going to be comparing this setup, which is the A7S III and the RS2, versus the ZV-1 and the Crane M2S. Now hold your horses. I know these are two completely different cameras, but I want to see how much of a difference you can tell in these two cameras when they shoot the same type of video. Right now I have the Tamron 28-75 on the A7S III, and I don't have a lens on the ZV-1 because this is the lens it comes with. This setup right here comes in just under $6,000, and don't forget about the SD cards that you have to purchase when you get the A7S III. And the ZV-1 comes just over $1,000, so we're looking at a $5,000 difference between these two setups. The thing that I want to get to the bottom of is to find out if there really is a $5,000 difference between the image quality, the stabilization, and the dynamic range that you get out of both of these setups. And that's what we're going to talk about today on the Film Alliance. By the way, if you like this setup that you're seeing where the camera's sliding back and forth, I picked up the Z-Pon slider and I connected my Weebill S with the follow focus onto the Z-Pon while I'm doing this talking head shot so that the camera follows me and it parallaxes as it slides back and forth. We're gonna shoot in all different frame rates. I am gonna shoot 4K 24 on both of them so we can have a good apples to apples comparison on image quality. As far as picture profiles go, I'm gonna do S Cinetone out of the A7S III and my custom Cine 2 picture profile out of the ZV-1, which closely matches up to S Cinetone. If you haven't seen that video, I'll leave that one in the description so that you guys can hook your ZV-1s up with that S Cinetone look. The A7S III setup comes in at 6.7 pounds, which is great for more stabilized footage, but not so great for long day shoots. The ZV-1 setup comes in at about 2.7 pounds, which is not so good for stabilized footage, but great for long day shoots and for vlogging. In order to save time and effort, I'm gonna use some of the same clips that I shot on my ZV-1 versus stock footage video. If you haven't seen that video, you have to go check it out. See, this channel is like a book. If you miss one chapter and you start watching the next video, you're gonna be lost. So go back and catch up with your peers and watch the chapter before this one, which is the ZV-1 versus stock video. And while I was out in the woods, I took my A7S III with me and I got the same exact shots so I didn't have to track 200 miles out into the wilderness twice for one video. So we're gonna go out into the woods where the brush is deep and the bear are many. I'm gonna bring both of my gimbals and my bear spray. And we're gonna compare these two setups to see which one we like better. I want you guys to be the judge and let me know in the comment section what you think on which one of these two setups you prefer. And if you can really tell the difference. Let's go get our shots. In order to get the best picture out of both of these cameras, I had to manually expose the ZV-1 and the A7S III. Because they have different lenses and they have different dynamic range, sometimes that may render a different looking picture, but I still tried my best to get the most out of both cameras. I think that's enough shots with the gimbal. Let's take these cameras handheld, tripod, and on a slider and see what we can come up with. I saw this really pretty grassy plain right behind me, so I'm gonna take both picture profiles off of these cameras. I'm gonna shoot straight out of camera to see what it looks like and how good that dynamic range is. Thankfully, the Sony ZV-1 has a built-in ND filter, so I'm gonna use that, and I'm not gonna use an ND filter with this camera. I'll just turn the shutter speed up. Shh, don't tell anybody. Ah, the sun just went away. I'm gonna throw these cameras into manual exposure even though my sun is coming and going. I'm gonna wait for that sun to come out so that I have a nice green shot on this grass. So that's it for this video. Let me know if you think there's really a difference between the ZV-1 and the A7S III. I mean, the gimbal was nice because it's a little bit more stable, but that's just what you get when you have smaller cameras on smaller gimbals. Hope you enjoyed this video. See you on the next one.